Quick impromptu video. I started to work through the PhotoRec wide Instagram submissions for this past week's challenge. So as you know, or maybe not, each week PhotoRec TV posts a challenge tag challenging you all to shoot something within that kind of tag's idea or theme, post them to Instagram with that tag, and then we pick winners. Sometimes I pick them, sometimes I, along with Scott, sometimes Roy, but there's always a couple winners and honorable mentions picked each week. As I started to go through this week's tag, I was blown away by the submissions. They have been consistently getting better and better. We've had some fantastic work submitted in the last couple of weeks. Maybe I'll even say months. But for some reason this week just really struck me as some fantastic images that are really standing out. And I also, it's kind of ironic that this is the first one I've really talked about on YouTube, because Instagram is not the best place to show your wide images. But let me show you how I pick the winners, or my winners and honorable mentions, and then give you a chance to sound off on which ones you think should be the best, or which ones you think should have won and honorable mentions, and invite you to participate in next week's challenge, which maybe we'll do videos from time to time of these challenges, because they're a lot of fun, and it's a great way to give yourself a reason to get out and shoot. Sometimes we get a little stuck and we're like, well, I got a camera, there's a whole big world out there, but I don't know what to shoot. But if you've got a challenge tag in mind when you go out, sometimes it makes it a little bit easier to have a subject. So the first thing that I do is pull up the tag. In this case, it's PRTV_wide. It's always PRTV_something. And I just start scrolling through. This is my post right here in the top left corner, shot with a Sony 10-18. Now, when I had wide in mind, I was mostly thinking about kind of wider shots done with wide lenses. But some people took it in slightly different directions, and as I go through, I start to click on the ones that interest me and catch my eye. So it's very hard to judge wide. This one you can definitely tell is wide from the little thumbnails. But there are certainly some images that just caught my eye right away. And I've opened the first one here. He went on the photo walk with us. How often do you get to see a picture of a real mermaid? Because that's Haley, and she is a real mermaid. Or Hailey, I think is how you say it. So this is a pretty cool shot. It feels fairly wide. I love kind of the minimalist look. I don't love the watermark on the tail, but I guess you don't want people to steal these images. I understand that. Luke's got one, this very close up right in the lens. This is a nice shot, a nice exposure. Love the frame, just touching the head a little bit. I wish there was a little bit more room up there, but this is a very simple, clean shot, and I like it. I saw this and said, this must be a film scan. Then I looked over. It just has that look to it, kind of an older shot. You might see this in some kind of Western, and I see that you've got film scanned. This feels wide. I'm not sure what lens it's shot with, but it feels like just a wide landscape. I believe this is Monument Valley or Valley of the Gods, somewhere in that area. Just really cool. Little bummed that this guy is cut off where these two, have nice space. But this is cool, and we've got this nice path that leads us down into this area here. I like this one a lot. Nancy's watermelon. Oh man, the colors in this one are really what stand out, and it doesn't feel terribly wide, but the way we have this whole watermelon right up to edge, and I'm just going to say the colors again. The colors in this shot are fantastic. That brilliant blue sky, watermelon green, really nice capture, Nancy. I like that a lot. Gavin has a beautiful, this one caught my eye because of the sun and the colors coming across this field here. I don't love that it's really just the tiniest sliver of sky. Even if it's not that interesting, I would like to see a little bit more of it. But this here is beautiful. Nicely done, Gavin. Anne's got this shot somewhere in the Scottish Highlands. I'm just going to add Highlands on. I'm not sure actually if it's in the Scottish Highlands. And it feels wide. We're looking down this long, wide valley and this road that leads us around. And again, similar to the monument one, just was really nice. I'm intrigued though by how much darker this area is here, and a little bothered by the fact that we don't have any detail in this here. But otherwise, this treatment is quite nice, and this road in that valley, really, really nice job. Angry Runner has just a peak of the Golden Gate Bridge sticking up above fog. I've seen lots of these shots, lots of good ones. I like this. It's a simple shot, and there's just enough context to know what we're looking at, and the headlands and the little bit of waves breaking that add the white there. I really like that. Steve also went on the Seattle photo walk, has this shot, which has something about the kind of green tones. I'm not quite sure how wide this lens was shot with, but it feels like a fairly wide shot with me, the way we have just a little bit of bowing here and here on this part of the, I don't know what you call that. It's not a tee-off place, is it? A little, just the logo. So this feels wide, and I just really like that kind of opening up feeling. Now this is curved not because of the lens, but because of the landscape and the way it's designed, but it just kind of adds to that feeling of wide. I like that. I saw these shadows. I saw a couple of the palm trees in the thumbnails and the shadows over here, and it caught my eye. I like it. I wish we could see a little bit more of the third one, a little more repetition, but it's pretty cool shot where it just kind of wraps around. Shadow, 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 real tree, real tree, real tree. I like that. Nice job, Ectol21. This shot does not feel very wide to me at all, but I love the repetition of the shadows and then the nicely framed Washington Monument off in the distance. I think that's very cool. It's very simple, very clean, nicely done. This looks similar to some shots I've taken recently. I'm in the process of moving out to Seattle, and I don't love that the horizon is split almost perfectly, but this is nicely exposed, and it is a nice wide shot of that classic Seattle downtown. I think I might have mostly clicked on this because I was interested in who shot it, because they're clearly in Seattle as well. Jay Stern has this Manassas battlefield shot. Ooh, is it sunrise, sunset? He says sunset, okay. This is beautiful. This is really, really lovely. I love how you've just caught your shot at a really small aperture, which gives you that sunburst or starburst effect from the sun. You've put it up against the tree, which further highlights that so nicely. This tree being backlit like this is really nice. And this little tree over here kind of balances it all. If it wasn't there, I think that would feel a little kind of empty and unbalanced, but that just nicely balances. This is a very, very nice shot. Love it. Just Delay 87. What caught my eye is just kind of this green and temple and blue water. I was like, ooh, because remember, it's a little square, although this one is a square, but really you can only see that. And just the symmetry of this shot is very cool. And then I love, getting into it. It has nothing to do with the picture itself necessarily, the composition or any of that, but the subject matter, the Hetch Hetchy Aqueduct providing water to San Francisco. I am interested in things like the water wars in the West and the whole Cadillac Desert written by Mark Reisner. It's a fantastic book that talks about how all of that got built and drought issues. So that's what kept my attention, but the symmetry here is really cool to kind of bring it back to what you all are interested in. Beer and Camera. You got a good name, and this is a fantastic shot. The lighting of the road, don't know if you use headlights, a flashlight, but you have so nicely balanced that light bending around the corner up to the Milky Way up above. Really, really nice job. It might be a little bit more purple than I care for, and the road might be a little bit more purple than I care for, but overall, it's really nice. And then Irwin has a different take on wide. I think it's just the lion yawning widely. And I really like this shot too. Just really nicely framed into the frame, kind of backlit as well. So we've got this nice outline that separates it from a line in the background. If we didn't have that lighting, it would be blending right in. That would lose a lot. But this works, and it works quite well. So who won? Who got honorable mentions? I'll put that link right down below so you can check those out. And then you can click through and give them a little love. And I'll put the hashtag right down below too, so you can click through and tell the people who you think should have won that they should have won. And I picked the wrong person. If you found this video helpful, give it a quick thumbs up. If you'd like to participate in future hashtag challenges, just follow me or the Photorec.tv Instagram, because we post every Friday night or Saturday morning at the latest what the next week's challenge is going to be. You've got 1 week to post an image. It doesn't have to be taken during that time. Scott's a little stricter about that. He really gives weight to those images that have been captured in the last week, or at least uploaded in the last week. Of course, there's no way to really tell. But, you know, if you've got an older image, you can go back that fits a theme perfectly, go back and hashtag it, and we'll take a look at it. And it's definitely a way to pick up a few more Instagram followers, especially if you win. That has been proven to work. And plus, as I said, it's just a lot of fun to head out the door with a camera in hand with some idea of what you're going to shoot in mind. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.